everybody. Thanks for joining me today. I'm covering the case of Cassie Compton. And oh my gosh, I heard this case on a podcast and I was like, ooh, this is a good case to cover. I'm gonna, look into it. And holy moly. Okay, so it took me down a lot of wormholes, rabbit holes, whatever you want to say. There's a ton of information. I really did not think that there was this much information. And it's a real disturbing case, okay guys? Let me just put it that way. There's a lot of disturbing, shady people in this story. And also, I'm going to leave the links down below so y'all can check this stuff out too. It is wild. Anyway, so let's get right in the case. If you do me a favor and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any other cases, let's get right into the case of Cassie Compton right now. Cassie Compton was 15 years old when she mysteriously vanished from the small town of Stuttgart, Arkansas, which, when I say tiny, I'm talking about the population of 9,000. Which gives you a hint why most people know about this case, and most people have an opinion. A lot of people have an opinion about. She was last seen on September 14th of 2014 around 7 p.m. At the time of her disappearance, she was living with her mom, Judy Compton, and her mom's fiance, Brandon Rhodes. Which, boy, do we have a lot to unpack about these two, especially Brandon. But unfortunately, the mom has some not some good things either. And I'm not going to try to dog on anybody in this video. Just want to say that, except for maybe Brandon. But I am going to put all this information out there. And the reason I've taken so long to work on this case is because I wanted to verify and cross-verify. And a lot of the stuff is true. Sad but true, yes. So they lived in this tiny little house, Section 8 housing, by the way. Just the three of them. And from what it is very, very publicized, Cassie did not have a good home life. There are some details out there, but there's a lot that people are tiptoeing around, and there's really a lot of things that you can very much kind of assume. She was not really happy, I think. She also tended to try to get out of the house as much as possible. I believe she ran away for a few times. Just was not a comfortable place for poor Cassie to live. There's no published public drug or alcohol abuse, but I am going to say that Judy Compton is a disabled person. And at the time of this disappearance, she was on heavy medications, pain patches. Okay, so pain patches are extremely strong. Fentanyl is usually, when they say pain patch, that's usually going to be your fentanyl. Sick a lot. She was in pain, some type of arthritis. So she was disabled on Section 8. Yeah, I've got way more to tell you about Judy. Cassie was homeschooled, by the way, so let's also put that out there. For some reason, the reasons are stated that she was highly allergic to certain things. This is what Judy said. She was a very allergic child. She had allergies to everything, supposedly. And so that's the reason that Judy gives that she was homeschooled. And it's reported that she was working on getting her GED. Now, why she was getting her GED and not her high school diploma, I'm not really sure. But she did participate in some on-campus functions, like football games she would go to and other little functions. But for the most part, Cassie was a really shy, quiet little girl. Oh. And in her pictures, you can even see, I mean, personally, I see a very troubled girl who not happy. Okay, we talked a little bit about Cassie. Let's go back to Judy for a little bit. Judy Compton, her mother. She is a convicted sex offender. A convicted sex offender. Yes, that's what I said. Convicted sex offender. She persists that she did not know. She didn't do anything. That wasn't never the charge given to her. But the case is that this is all heard from her mouth. Her husband, ex-husband, is a child sex offender too. He was messing. Is this what her words are? Messing with her first daughter. This is supposedly before Cassie was even born, by the way. And the daughter told somebody, and they were both arrested. She did a plea deal to get probation, and then she had to be on a sex offender list. And I believe she injury to a child / sex abuse, and so she still had to get on the sex offender registry list. And I guess the husband went to jail. The ex-husband went to jail. So he's a real piece of shit, okay? So this arrest occurred before Cassie was born, and it has nothing to do with Cassie's disappearance, but it kind of gives you a little bit of insight to the men that Judy attracts. Okay, let's just say that. I'm trying to be a little bit careful and respectful, but I'm just going to be as honest as I can and be respectful as I can also. The offense happened in Oklahoma. She moves to Arkansas, start a new life. She gives birth to Cassie. And Cassie's dad is also a child sex offender. This is a totally different guy. So we're on number 2, baby daddy, and he's also a registered sex offender. And he's not in the picture. Holy Lord. Let's kind of move on to the third person in this story, who is Brandon Rhodes, which is the fiance of Judy Compton, Cassie's mom. He is got many felonies, been in prison many times. At the moment, right now, he's actually in jail under some charges, severe charges that don't have anything to do with Cassie. Solicitation to commit murder. And then a felon with a firearm. Anyway, some hardcore charges before that. He's had some other assaults. I don't know. He's just not a good guy. Not a good guy. Brandon Rhodes didn't have a driver's license. Brandon Rhodes didn't have a car. Brandon Rhodes rode a bicycle around the town of Stuttgart, Arkansas. Brandon Rhodes spent many trips to the jail, and there were also quite a few calls of domestic violence. Brandon Rhodes and Judy Compton. Okay, let's get to the disappearance. We were going to start with the Friday before she disappeared. She disappeared on Sunday, September 14th. Don't forget that, 2014. So Friday, she wants to go to the high school football game. And, of course, Judy, being the generous mother that she is, and probably not feeling well, too, of course lets her go. I don't know whether she walked. I don't know how she got there. She goes to the high school football game. She apparently comes home that night. This is Friday night. And nothing is reported at all on this Friday. Nothing. Other than she's sick and she had been to the doctor. And apparently, possibly her allergies, but she had a really bad cough. And we know this because there's text messages that are published, and she talks about her cough and how her cough is better. But she apparently was extremely sick. We're skipping. Friday goes by. No events. So Saturday now enters the Snyder family and Hunter Snyder, which the Snyder family apparently is a highly functioning family life. They have a good family role going over there, and Cassie really likes to go over there and loves to spend time over there, and I only can imagine why. And Hunter Snyder is the son, and that's her friend. I do pick her up because the Snyder mom was on Nancy Grace, and she did say, yes, we can pick her up. She spends the night over there, Saturday night. She wasn't feeling too great, and they reported she was very quiet and withdrawn that day, but I'm assuming because she's probably on medication and sick, okay? So Sunday she stays over there at the Snyder's house. She's still there, she stay there. Her and Judy text each other back and forth. That evening, Sunday evening, the night of the disappearance, she gets dropped off about 6:20, 6:25 that night. And now, here we go. Brandon is there, and he's cooking dinner. This is going to be the story that comes from Brandon and Judy. He's cooking breakfast for dinner, by the way, pancakes. And Judy's sick in bed. Judy doesn't see her daughter. Judy just says, "Hi, baby girl." This is from Judy says. Judy says she never sees her. Cassie never comes in. She never even hears her or anything. Then a little bit later, Judy changes her story more recently, and she says, "No, I did hear her. She was saying that she needed a cigarette." Brandon stops cooking dinner. This is so convoluted. This is so weird. Brandon says he needs cigarettes. So he supposedly jumps in Judy's car, which she doesn't have a driver's license, and he drives, and he goes and gets cigarettes, and he comes back. Supposedly Cassie's still at the house, I guess, but she never went in to see her mom. He comes back, brings cigarettes. Cassie says, "Ooh, I can't." This is what Judy says. Cassie says, "Ooh, I can't smoke those. I'm going to get my own cigarette." She texts this Hunter guy and says, "I'm going to the store." Now, mind you, Judy's still never seen her. She hasn't seen her since she left, I guess, Saturday morning, I guess. Supposedly, Cassie went in and changed clothes, but no, she doesn't know what clothes because she didn't see her. But Judy does claim that she went missing in a spaghetti strap tank top, some shorts, and her cowboy boots. And she came to that agreement not because she saw her, but because she went through her closet and her clothes and she found what was missing, and that's what was missing. But then years later, now she's saying that she did see her, so she really flip-flops a little bit. So Cassie leaves supposedly, and then she's never seen, never heard nothing from her. Grabs her phone and walks around the corner to go to the store. This is what they say. Anyways, she did text that I'm going to get a cigarette to this Hunter guy. Now, was that Cassie that texted? Who knows? Also, side note, believe that they said that there was about 15 sex offenders in this neighborhood. That Cassie loved to walk around. She liked to walk the neighborhood. She was 15. She hated the house. Can you imagine? Nothing else is said except for nothing else is too about the night at all, really, other than Judy says that he comes home and he's vomiting in the bathroom after he buys cigarettes. Baby girl didn't want to eat. Cassie didn't want to eat. These little tips, these little tit-tat things, just like nothing. Okay, well then, I guess comes Monday morning. Okay, all night, we're talking from 7 o'clock to all night, nothing. Nobody, nothing. It's blowing my mind. They go in there to her bedroom, and no Cassie. She's not there. I guess they assume she's probably ran away. They come, and to be honest with you, they basically take it as a freaking runaway, because she had run away 3 or 4 times since Brandon moved in, because he's a piece of shit, okay? After a few days, then they start taking it serious. She's on the TV, Brandon's on the TV, the mom is devastated. The mom is still devastated. And I'm not saying anything about Judy. I'm not saying anything about it at all. They do ping her phone, and they search the area where it's pinged off of, and it's not, they don't find her. And about a month later, Judy breaks up with Brandon and kicks him to the curb. Thank goodness. I don't know why. Nobody knows why. It's totally unknown, but they are no longer together. And he moves on to continue to break the law and continue to be a POS. Okay. He's never really interested. He leaves, and that's all we know about him until this podcast comes, and that I listened to, that I'll link below, that says that they found him and he is in prison and in jail under all these heavy charges. So they use dogs to search, and they use all their resources supposedly. But there's a lot of criticism about this police chief that they didn't, and this police department that they didn't do enough. So anyways, there's also this, thank goodness, there is a PI that gets involved. Her name is Tina Storts, and she knows a lot about the case. So in this podcast, she gives a lot of good information. Cassie just vanished, and there's just a whole lot of suspicious things that are going on in this house. There's a whole lot of shady people in her life. There's a whole lot of shady people around her. It's not a good situation. It does tend to look like Brandon is the prime suspect. The police have said that Brandon Rhodes is a prime suspect, but they said they haven't ruled anybody out. They haven't ruled anybody out. So everybody, I wanted to kind of put all this information. I don't feel like I'm doing a really good job, and I apologize. Really, I just want y'all to, if you are from this area, Stuttgart, Arkansas, or you know this Brandon guy, or any kind of information about Cassie Compton, please call the number that I'm going to have listed at the bottom. There's a Facebook page. You can message them there. Sad because she was obviously in a very bad situation. Brought on by the grown-ups in her life, I think. There's 3 options that I'm thinking. 3 things. The boyfriend did it. Possibly alone, or possibly with somebody else. She was literally picked up by a random sex offender in the neighborhood because she walked around. She was kidnapped, taken, killed. That's that. Or she was picked up and sex trafficked, which that is another thing, because she's a cute little girl, and she'd probably be, you know, a good target for sex trafficking. Being that little tiny town, I don't know. I don't know a whole lot about sex trafficking, but I can say, you know, it can definitely happen. Intense. Cassie Compton, 15 years old, from Stuttgart, Arkansas. She was last seen September 14th, 2014 at 7 p.m. She has blonde hair, blue eyes, and a birthmark heart-shaped upper left arm. She also has a scar on her face from a dog attack when she was a small child. Oh, Lord. I feel really, really bad for this kid. She really got screwed over. I don't know who did it, but it's pretty obvious that she got screwed over in life anyways. By the way, I just want to put it out there, Judy Compton has supposedly changed her life. She's found a good man, she says. This is in an interview. Found me a good man, I'm married, and I moved away, and that she's come out of her depression, which is very good, and I'm not dogging on her. I'm just putting the information out there. I'm not saying anything about Judy Compton. I don't know that she had anything to do. I don't know the lady. I just know what I know that is public record. That poor Cassie was in a really, really, really sad situation, and you know, this case needs to be solved, and I believe it totally could be solved if somebody would come forward. Brandon Rhodes was interviewed, by the way. There's so much to talk about. Brandon Rhodes was interviewed on this podcast. He really gave a bunch of BS. I think he just wanted out of his cell. You should go listen to the podcast. It's pretty interesting. It's not too bad. I think he lured this reporter in with, oh, I got to get these things off my chest. Then he gets her in there, and he really talks about a bunch of crap, and he talks in circles. And if he knows, I don't know why he's not saying, because he should. But he didn't. They did this whole podcast interview, and it kind of just ends on nothing. He doesn't come and give, he kind of doesn't come out and give any kind of information. Please leave comments below if you made it this far. This is a long ass video. I am so sorry, because there was so much to do in this case, and I probably still didn't, because I'm trying to wrap it up. But If you have a theory or you know something else, put it in the comments. I'm going to put this all over the internet. I think this case should be solved. I think somebody knows something. I think one person really knows a lot of shit. And it really makes me angry for this poor freaking child was given a bad hand in life. And now, then this is what she gets in her death. We don't even, or in her disappearance, or wherever she is. If y'all have any information about Cassie Compton, please call the Stuttgart Police Department, or call your local police department, or anything. I will leave links down below to all kinds of stuff you can look through, because it is wild ride. And thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got a lot of information about Cassie. Bless her heart. I keep saying that I love this girl. I wish she would come home, or her remains to be found, or somebody. And it needs more coverage, so if you're out there and you're another YouTuber, cover this case. It is wild. So thanks for watching. I will see you on next time, and take care of each other.